Hey everybody, it's X, and welcome back to one final premiere draft of War of the Spark. During this flashback draft season, we've got the launch of The Hobbit starting tomorrow. Very excited for that. But for now, let's get back into the war for Ravnica. Our pack one, pick one, we've got some really sweet options. We got the mythic rare gigantic draw spell, which is super sweet. We've also got Narset Parter of Veils, which is an excellent planeswalker, digging 4 cards deep multiple times in a row. There's a great counterspell, No Escape. Every single pack in this set has a planeswalker in it, so this is an excellent counterspell countering creatures or planeswalkers. The Obnexus's Cruelty is a really excellent efficient removal spell. I think all 4 of these are super reasonable options. Probably Finale, Narset, and Obnexus's Cruelty being the absolute best. I'm going to go for the crazy Finale thing. Draw this in the late game. We get to draw a bajillion cards and untap a bunch of mana and just go absolutely wild. Pick 2 now. We got a Tamiyo's Epiphany to just stick to drawing a bunch of cards in blue, which is something that I do like doing. There's also Obnixilis, the Hate Twisted. Not the biggest fan of this card in the world, because you are giving your opponent cards back every time that you're removing one of their threats, but there's still some really, really bad, really must-be-killed creatures, and this is a way to deal with some of them and ping your opponent a bit. Obnexus is by far at his best when you're like a really aggressively curved deck, so you go like 2-mana creature, 3-mana creature, 4-mana creature, you're beating down over and over and over, and then you use this to like kill a blocker and ping them a couple damage, trying to make the game end fast enough that they don't really have time to use the extra cards that you just gave them. So I don't think it's that good in blue-black because it's a little slower, especially a blue-black deck that's going to want to run Finale of Revelation to draw a bajillion cards. So stick to just blue for now. And now, for the same reason, we can grab the Callous Dismissal here. This is a really excellent sorcery. 2 mana for a 1/1, and you bounce any non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Just a really excellent tempo play. Spark Harvest is a great removal spell. That's an option too, but we can stick to mono blue for now and push into any other color if black gets cut more. This is only pick 3, so we don't really know what's open yet. Pick number 4, another Callous Dismissal. Blue's open enough for me. Take that. There's Spark Reaper out of black. There's Arlen out of green. Those are also both excellent. Arlen's pretty slow, but Arlen has 3/3/3s off of one spell, which is pretty insane. And then the Spark Reaper is a really good sack outlet, but I'm going to grab Callous Dismissal. This card's so consistently good whenever you draw it, but really, really good in the opening hand. Pick 5, I'm not a big fan of any of these cards. Tybalt's Rager could be okay in a blue-red deck, but it's really for the black-red sacrifice strategy, but everything else here is just borderline completely unplayable. So, take Tybalt's Rager. Pick 6, the Contentious Plan is okay with our zombie armies, our Callous Dismissals here. And it keeps us to blue. There's also the Ugin's Conjurant, which is fine. You can shove it in any deck, just an X mana XX on curve. Whatever's going on with your mana. There's also Tidebearer Giant, which is solid top-end value for any black deck. We'll go for the Conjurant here. It's the most flexible. Pick 7. Not a fan of any of these cards. Opportunist, Lynx, and Pollenbright Druid are all like okay filler 2-mana creatures for their respective colors, but none of them are blue, so it would be kind of a coin toss as to which of those colors we'd end up playing here. So I'll take the Lynx in case I open like a Teferi or something. That'd be pretty cool. Conjurant is good when you can proliferate a lot, so I could also go for the Pollenbright Druid and see about some kind of blue-green counters deck. Yeah, I don't know. I'll take the Pollenbright Druid, I guess. Pick number 8, Chandra's Pyrohelix, still a good red card there. That's also a late Lazotep Reaver. This card is one of the best commons, period. Pyrohelixes too. Can I really do it? Can I really just draft blue-black 5 drafts in a row? And I know I can. I don't know if y'all can handle that, though. Pick number 9, Band Together, green removal spell if we go that Pollenbright Druid direction. Pick 10, Kiora's Dambreaker. Keep heavy on the blue. There's another Band Together. We're getting late green removal. Grim Initiate's fine in red too. Skulker. Alright, we saw a Lazotep Reaver pretty late, but then like no more black after that. And then we open a Nissa. So I guess we do get to do the blue-green proliferate nonsense or play something different this time around, because Nissa's a really strong rare, making an army of 3/3 vigilant lands to beat down with, giving you a bajillion mana if you need it as well. So there's Nissa. Also could have been a fun blue-red deck with Invade the City type stuff, had we taken like that Pyrohelix earlier, but Nissa's a great, powerful card. More than enough reason to commit to green when we are getting great green removal spells as late as we are anyway. Pack 2, pick 2. Honestly, I think Aven Eternal is better for its respective mana cost than Arlen is, but Arlen works really well with the Nissa. Oh my god, Nissa works so well with our Finale of Revelation. I don't have any 3-mana creatures yet. I mean, both of these cards would be exceptional in this deck, the Arlen and the Aven Eternal. I think blue's more contested than green in this pot as well, but I highly doubt. I mean, Arlen is just the best green card out of all of these. But if somebody takes an Arlen, we still get like a Challenger Troll or something. I'm going to take this Aven Eternal. I mean, you've all seen how much I love that card and how powerful it is on curve. Pick 3 is nothing for us. We could take a Guild Globe in case we want to try to splash in some other stuff. But I'm not really in the market for a Sky Theater Strix or a Courage in Crisis. Pick number 4, another Pollen Bright Druid. Cheng Yanggu is interesting. Could either be incredible or do basically nothing, depending on what your board looks like. I guess that's a lot cooler than Druid or Globe, so we can test that out here. All right, we get an Arlen out of this pack. There's no blue here, and the other green card is not very good. Pick 6, Vivian's Arcbow is very bad when you're getting beaten down. If you're under any pressure and you need blockers ASAP, this is going to sit here and do nothing. But if you get into a board stall and both of you are staring at each other trying to see who draws something good, this will win that game every time. Because every time you draw something bad or land, you just ditch it, find the best creature in your top X and put it into play. So I like running an Arcbow. It's not as exciting as it looks, but it is definitely going to win in specific situations. We're a folk Skydiver for the Proliferate strats. Probably cutting this Skulker if we can. Snare Spinner's good against all the Aven Eternals that people like to run, but Bond of Flourishing's probably better. I've already got a lot of 2-mana creatures. Well, I've got a lot of non-creature spells too. I don't think I have room for either of these, so I guess it doesn't matter that much. But Bond of Flourishing is also a higher mana value. Dang, there's 2 green drafters? It's actually kind of surprising to me. Just take a wolf. We did not get back the Challenger Troll. Somebody took the Arlen and the Troll. I'm not going to Neoform, but I'm probably not going to Giant Growth either. Move my probable cuts into a pile here. Okay. Pack 3, pick 1. We got the 4-mana 4/4 that proliferates when it enters. That's a great deal. And there's no good blue spells. So come on in, Bloomhulk. Vraska's a really good Planeswalker. We get 2 1/1 Death Touchers out of her. And we're a Proliferate deck to try to get those loyalty counters back on to make even more. So I like Vraska. There's another Aven Eternal, though. Eternal or Vraska? I think I'm going to go Vraska here. She's cooler. Less contested slot on the mana curve. God Eternal Catcher is monumentally powerful, but we can't get double white in this deck.
And what I do is win.
Ashiok, if we try to mill somebody out, there's another Band Together for another removal spell. There's Erratic Visionary to draw and discard. There's a lot of options here. I think I'll go for the Ashiok again in a Proliferate deck. The biggest competition's Band Together, and we've got a couple copies already. This only shoots creatures, doesn't shoot planeswalkers. I think I can... Well... I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to end up running the Ashiok, but I might not run the 3rd Band Together either.
Surrender your agony.
Pick 4. I like Eternal Skylord a lot. Plays well with the Aven Eternal and the Callous Dismissals. Crush Descent's a great card too. And those are the best here, but I'm going to go for the Skylord. Nothing in blue or green out of this pack. Spark Double's a really fun one. You can make a second copy when you're Planeswalkers with an additional loyalty, or copy one of your creatures with a +1/+1 counter. It is pretty finicky though, because you do have to already have a good card on the board for it. So like another Tamiyo's Epiphany could just be better. But we're on Epiphany and Finale and Arcbow for like draw, so I'm gonna go for the goofy card here, even if it's probably worse. Band Together, Crunch Wrangler, Dam Breaker, these are all good. I'm gonna get more beef. I'm gonna go Dam Breaker. Crunch Wrangler. 23 cards now. We've got a whole deck. Looks like everything else might just be going straight to the sideboard. I think this deck really needs a Spellkeeper weird. Might be better than like Arlen's Wolf or something though. Is it better than Crunch Wrangler? How many cards do we have that actually trigger Crunch Wrangler that cares about power 4 or greater? We have 2 Dam Breakers and 1 Bloom Hulk. It's 3 cards. Yeah, we'll ditch that. All right. Now that we got that out of there, we will call it a deck here, hop into the gameplay, and see how far we can take it on our final draft of War of the Spark. All right, here we are on the play for game number 1. We got to draw a forest, but until then, the Callous Dismissal is going to be a very, very good early play. Now an Aven Eternal that we drew here. There we go, there's the forest. Taskmaster is really scary once they have cards in their graveyard, but until then, just a 2/3. We are playing against a blue-black deck. There's their own Aven Eternal, which is not a good card to bounce, but it's an okay card to band together and shoot. Ooh. Also just play a Hulk and pass here. I could wait till I've got Planeswalkers for the Hulk too, though. This may be a problem. If they have... They would need removal that costs 1 mana? Bro, if they Spark Harvest me... Oh my god. Well, that's awful. That is the one problem with Band Together, is if they can get the Taskmaster to trigger, which I guess they can. Should have just played the Bloom Hulk. But I figured it was pretty unlikely that they would have cheap enough removal to kill one of our blockers and spend 3 more mana in the same turn. But there is Spark Harvest in this format. Dismissal on Thunderdrake is pretty good. Just beat down here. We might just Spark double a Bloom Hulk for more beef. Proliferate onto the other 2 at the same time. Alright, Aven Eternal is back. And Obnix's Cruelty on Bloom Hulk. Drafted blue-black 4 times in a row, and we have never ended up with as much removal as the other blue-black opponents, it feels like. They got the goods. Alright, this is pretty gnarly.
What a strange and magnificent world. The land fights for us.
Yeah, we don't really care if Taskmaster attacks. I mean, we care if they hit Nissa, but Nissa's got like 6 loyalty from the get-go. So they shouldn't be able to clear her out next turn without some additional spells. Go to 4. Omnix list to blow up one of our creatures. We get to draw 2.
Even the weak serve a purpose. Try not to think too hard.
They're going to hold a single 1/1 up. Sure.
How rude.
there's the concession from our opponent, because now we just make a 3-3 haste. They block a 3-3 and take 4. That's all they can do there. So Nissa wins the game for us, really, just steals that end game. And we are now 1-0 heading into game 2. All right, here we are on the play with X mana spell 6-drop, 6-drop, X mana spell 6-drop. So we're going to mulligan that one real quick. Keep this. I think we're dishing Ashiok. I don't know how well we are going to be able to defend Ashiok here. I could ditch the Wolf and then have a 1-4 blocking Ashiok plus a flyer. It's kind of risky because Ashiok doesn't really matter. If they kill Ashiok at any point, then Ashiok has done essentially nothing. But like if they don't kill Ashiok, we do win off the mill. We'll see. This might be wrong. But I'm going to keep Ashiok over the Wolf. They're a blue deck, which is a decent start. Ashiok's pretty good against blue. Because they can be a little slower. Blue-red, though. And then immediately a flyer. Less good. Start with our own flyer to defend Ashiok. Spellgorger weird. This is looking like a nasty start from the blue-red deck. I'd like to play almost anything other than Ashiok right now. Oh god. We draw 4, a 6, and a 5 mana card for a 3-lander. And we've got nothing to Spellkeeper Weird back, but it still holds off their Spellgorger Weird. No, I clicked too fast. I'm playing sloppy. Just wanted to send Avon Eternal in, but the big shiny button sends both. They're gonna double spell here. If they spend a combat trick to kill Spellkeeper Weird, that's fine. There we go. Vraska mana's big. Let's see if they have that removal to clear out the flyer and deal with her. Kind of cool with us trading whatever they're gonna cast. Sure. Get the flyer out of here. Another one. Less cool. That is not the Skylord mana to get a flyer of our own. Ooh, Nissa. Nissa, land for turn. Dismissal's still really good, but maybe not the other Planeswalker. Oh boy. The beef, the invading Manticore is here. Huge. Stop the flyer at least. Got a Death Toucher for the Manticore or the Spellgorger, but it can't kill both of them. This only doubles forest mana? Yeah. That's a shame. Or islands could tap for blue-green. Could untap an island and Callous Dismissal. The turn we play the Nissa. And they don't want to attack into the Death Toucher. Since we hit a land, I can still Callous Dismissal then. Get rid of a bunch of counters from their weird or kill their army. Flyer's just going to poke for 1 or 2 a turn. That's not going to kill Nissa by itself. We'll make them recast the weird. I think that's fine. Then we get like 2 planeswalkers. We'd have 2 planeswalkers, 3 creatures with counters on them by the time we play the Dam Breaker and just get a crazy proliferate. Ooh, Pyrohelix is really good against the Death Toucher.
Peace.
Yep, we have to chump Manticore to keep Nissa out now, thanks to the Pyrohelix. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. For that.
Terror is eluding you. You snack.
And then also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna have to tap one of my lands here. One of my creature lands, which is awkward. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Rise, my elemental friend.
Guess I'd rather block with the island first since it's less mana. Could attack and trade in a Spellgorger, but it's beyond blocks. Okay, they're over it. That's enough blockers to keep these planeswalkers protected, and they do not want to play it anymore. That will be 2-0 heading into game 3. We're on the draw here for game 3. We're just hoping to draw lands, because this hand has some expensive stuff with Finale and Braska, but luckily we did immediately draw land for our 2-land opener. The revealed no escape is a little bit annoying. Alright, I guess they might as well just do it here. We gotta get it out of the way at some point. It isn't a taxing counterspell, it's just full-on counters, period, so we can't play around it other than playing our weakest creature first, and that's exactly what we did. Kasmina, oh boy. They're in a great position being on the play there with that.
My students are loyal geniuses.
Can't really Callous Dismissal efficiently at all. It's obviously terrible to do it on a planeswalker like that. Epiphany into double spell here. Might be the play. Vraska's not super good on this board. Kind of like the idea of Spark doubles. So what is... Next turn we play like Aven Eternal and Callous Dismissal. I guess we can't because of Kasmina. Boy. Aven Eternal and Merfolk Skydiver then. Yeah, land, double those up. Turn after that, 6 mana. Spark double Dismissal, maybe kill Kasmina with a flyer. Two, 3, 4, 5 mana. I'll have that right now. Draw that next turn, but I'll play Skydiver Eternal. I do need to draw one more land. Okay. I mean, I've also got the big X mana spell, but I'm much more concerned with staying alive till we can cast that than drawing more lands for that specifically. 15. They don't have removal. A 3/3 is very good against their board. If they do have removal and I just set up 2/2/2s, I still have pretty bad blocks. I just trade into a single 2/2 and take the rest anyway. So I'll take that risk and see if we can hold them off with a 3/3. Actually, really happy with that. That's their turn. Looks like we're kind of chilling. Do we get to kill Casmina? Because that would be super chilling. Oh yeah. Alright, let's go. Let's get Vraska and Dismissal then.
Your demise won't be quick or quiet. Oppressors deserve whatever I feel suits them.
Two two for 2/2. Keep Vraska alive. Eternal Skylord. We're gonna have a huge finale of Revelation soon enough.
Hey there. Let me know if you find any cool new plants.
This might be kind of crazy, but I'm gonna double Vraska.
Your corpse will make a nice souvenir. Keep your friends close. Kill your enemies. How you lived is how you'll die.
Counter on this token makes it so they can't just trade
Strength.
Augur of Bolas into it. We actually kill their flyer. Blue, blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. X equals 6. This Planeswalker seems pretty bad. Like, I feel like I'm in a decent position with a lot of creatures on board and it still's not really doing anything for me. Oh, Jace is a nightmare.
It's a matter of give and take.
Share in my strength.
And they gotta play a flyer again at least.
Nobody appreciates my handiwork.
Mills me 2 cards a turn. I feel so greedy to wait till I can shuffle back in, but I mean, that's a plan against Jace. And it's not like they're a black deck where they can make me discard this finale. There's like one counter spell they can have for it. There's the counter unless I pay 2. So if it goes slow enough that I can wait till I have X equals 12, then I guess that would work. Or we can defend ourselves from that. And it is going to be slow enough because this is going to give me way more than enough mana.
I protect that which cannot protect itself.
Damage to a player or planeswalker. They get the buff. I don't think I'm going to attack with my land here. I have 4 blockers up for their 4 attackers to protect my stuff. I'm not going to have a flying blocker, I guess, but still. Totally lost on the Eternal. Dang.
Fighting here is more fun than in the Undercity. The land shall conquer you.
Finale of Revelation is actually like completely insane with Nissa because the untap 5 lands when our forests tap for double mana is crazy too.
Let's try this.
Even Eternal of their own. Poke Nissa for 3.
Assume I am fragile.
There's Arlen, which is pretty good. Blue, blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Be wary
9,
of the
10.
ground you walk on.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 get untapped. Land for turn. Could play Arlen here. Let's go like dismissal. A blocker. Band together a blocker. And they have 1 blocker out, yeah, so then I can kill Jace. We could play Arlen and or Bloomhulk probably. Yeah, I mean that's just gonna be an insanely explosive turn, and it's gonna be 3-0 now. Heading into game number 4, we're only 1 win away from being at least at the break-even point. Here we are on the draw for game 4, and this is a little bit greedy, but on the draw, trying to get that 1 land to get to Wolf and Band together for the early game. I'm gonna go for it, because if we can get to the like Vraska, Arlen kind of stuff, this hand has an incredible late game. So far so bad, we've lost a couple coin flips here, no land in the first 2 draws. No land in the first 3 draws is super bad. Drop the really expensive finale. We've got a ton of 3 mana stuff to do if we get there now, though. And that's gonna be magic for you. They got the Raging Crunch for the really fast 4-power creature. Yep. Trade into a 4/3 with the Wolf if they don't have removal, but we're already down to 2 life for missing all the lands. That'll do it. Just missed the lands a little too much against a very aggressive start. Simple and basic game of Magic. That's just gonna happen. 3-1 it'll be, heading into round number 5. Here we are for game 5. This is basically the same hand, but even slower. It has a 6-drop, an X spell, and another X spell with the Arc Bow. It's got one castable Pollen Bright Druid, and at least it has a man of every color this time. But this hand goes so poorly without hitting a ton of lands. I'll learn my lesson. I'll take the mulligan that time and keep this one. Ditch a land because we can afford everything in the hand without it. But I could see the argument for ditching the Ashiok as well, because we do have a lot of expensive plays like a Finale of Revelation that we would want to draw more lands for. Lead with our Aven Eternal so we can get in the sky. Shriek Diver, a flying blocker. Dismiss that and force a recast here, hit for 4. Toll of the Invasion. I think Band Together would be the worst for us if they got rid of it. It's the most immediately impactful. If they get rid of Arlen's Wolf, I guess we just play Ashiok and start toying around with that. I don't think we really care if they get rid of Finale right now, since we are in the lead, putting pressure on them. They get rid of the Ashiok. Super fine with that, because we are actually attacking and trying to win off of the combat damage front right now. They do have the Spark Harvest for the flyer, but now we drop the Wolf and bash. Callous Dismissal of their own, really good against zombie armies. Do they have another Spark Harvest? That would be spicy. Now they play the Shriek Diver. Okay, well they can't block the Wolf. Just gonna draw 3 here. That's enough for right now, and we do have Spellkeeper Weird to bring it back. We could draw into it at some point, which ends up being right now. Oh, never mind. It exiles itself every time. Just got an unblockable 3-power creature still. Never mind. Vraska's Finisher can block it. So we band together against that. That would be kind of sick if we just go all the way to victory off of an Arlen's Wolf. Those are 2 power or less. They cannot block the Arlen's Wolf.
Every day is a new lesson.
Land off the top would be super sweet. We could cast the Skylord and activate the Spellkeeper Weird. I don't think I really want a 5/6. Well, we can play a Vraska and the Spellkeeper Weird. If I kill Kasmina, I'm killing a 2/2 and stopping them from drawing and discarding a card and making my interaction cheaper. As much as I like how I've been kind of racing them, it's probably better to kill Kasmina just in case they top deck removal for Wolf immediately. If the game does go any longer, it's definitely better to do things that way. Pick up like a callous dismissal here, I guess, with the weird.
Leave before I make you disappear. How you lived is how you'll die.
That would be pretty good at 7 mana. Like at one more land drawn, we can play Skylord and Dismissal in the same turn. Toll of the Invasion, that sucks. So they hit the Skylord here. Free combat is actually decent though, so that if they do attack with the army, we're killing an even bigger creature with our Death Toucher. I'll take it rid of the Dam Breaker. Fair. Stop us from proliferating onto Vraska, I suppose.
Pathetic.
It is not a land, but it's not terrible. The creatures are the ones dealing damage, so Death Touchers will kill anything they play. Yikes, that's really, really good here. They kill our unblockable threat and get another creature of their own. Skylord's gonna let us hit for 4 in the sky next turn because we are massing up. No need to protect Vraska. Just need to hit them in the sky. That's the mana we need to counter a Crush Descent if they have that, but if they have no escape, then that's brutal. Might be removal for the army. Sorry, it's 3 in the sky, not 4 in the sky, but still. 2-turn kill. Try to hit lethal. And we do. That is 4-1 now, at least. Breaking even here. And at least a positive record wherever things go from here. Here we are on the draw now for game number 6 with a pretty slow hand. Doesn't actually play anything that affects the board until turn 4. Ashiok with no defense is pretty bad, and we don't even have the second blue. Draw spell and a 6-drop. I think we got a mulligan this. This is sketchy too. We really need the island for this one. But I like this better than mulliganing down to only 5 cards. And it can do some fun things with Arlen and Spark Double if we manage to survive a really long time. If we're under a lot of pressure, we can just make a 4-3 off Spark Double. It's not the end of the world. Drawn to a bit of a curve out here with Callous Dismissal, which is nice. Got a Vivian's Arc Bow if the game goes long. Still haven't really drawn that in like a big end game position, like a board stall. We've had it in some opening hands and mulliganed it away. They're just holding up like a Crush Descent here. Well, we've got the 2 mana to pay for the Arc Bow if they are. So we can play it around that pretty easily. There's only 2 creatures in the whole deck. We would be able to hit off of doing that for only 2. Alright, they got a Rouse Outburst to kill the wolf. Sad day. Really glad we didn't try to play a Spark Double. They could have responded by blowing that up before we got to choose what we wanted to copy. Spell Gorger Weird. Gets a +1/+1 counter every time they're casting non-creatures. We've seen many copies of our weird friend. Pass through. Draw a Band Together. What I really need here over anything else is 1 land. Opponent is really in the think tank here. Mana Geode. Get a counter. Scry to the bottom. They were out of time there, so I think it auto-passed to this step, maybe? Okay, main phase 2, Narset is the play.
Those who cannot perceive beyond the veil of reality.
I have just
How many creatures do I have that cost 5 or less? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of 29. About 1 in every 5, and we're digging 5 cards deep. That's a little risky. I could discard this and get absolutely nothing back anyway. You're not a land. You might be doomed. Because we can't really do anything without that 6th land, especially when we draw another 6-drop. I mean, they're about to play God Pharaoh statue too. That actually just locks us out of the game because we haven't drawn enough mana. Now everything in our hand costs like 8. Okay, thank goodness they did not cast the God Pharaoh statue. That would have just completely shut us out.
Keep an open mind.
Narset finds a Mizium tank. Pass. Callous Dismissal isn't nothing. It's okay on the Spell Gorger Weird. Not against Lazatep plating for hexproof. Okay, pass. Do they play the God Pharaoh statue yet? Nope. A Sky Theater Strix. And a Mizium tank. I mean, at this point, they don't even need to. The weird has gotten so big. We'll be dead in a couple turns regardless. Yes, might as well. 12. Arlen's gonna immediately die, but it is what it is.
My bite is far worse than
Feels better than playing like a single
Please
5/6. Dovin activates the Mizium tank, shuts off all damage that be dealt to or by something each turn. Yeah. Bubbles one of our cards each turn. It's not super good here because we're basically just trumping every turn anyway, so it's actually probably helpful if they bubble the wolf. Because then the wolf can block the 7/7 without dying. I don't think Dovin really does anything right now. I mean, it taxes us. That's really bad. Making some of our spells cost more. But the minus ability is just straight
Looking to
like
elevate
advantageous to us, I think.
Perhaps a pair of stilts?
Helps us block better. I guess technically not, because if it weren't for that, we could block the tank and actually trade. But we have alternate blocks now, where we can block that Spellgorger weird and bounce off it. Okay, no matter how I block, Arlen is dead now, so we just block the Spellgorger weird and don't take any damage at least.
I was not fierce enough.
Another band together. I can play one creature here and pass. Yeah, I think I'm good enough there. That's going to be a defeat. 4-2 now, heading into round number 7. I mean, I think our best bet there might just be activating Arcbow every turn and praying, but our best creatures aren't that good. It's better to 5/6 and we're still getting killed by that 7/7, 8/8, 9/9, so on. All right, here we are on the draw for game number 7. 4-2 right now, seeing if we can break through that and be in the money, or if we're going to stop here just at the break-even point. Kind of chilling either way. Every single draft of the War of the Spark has been a 4-3 or a 5-3. So, consistent, good record, bunch of free drafts for fun, I guess. We'll take it. Even if we don't get a trophy this time around, at least we've never had a bad draft. Solid little curve here, 2-2 into the 3-2 that's hard to block. We got interaction and an Ashiok coming up whenever we find the island. Vraska's finisher. Trying to the Bloom Hulk here. Really like playing Bloom Hulk once I also have an army, I think. Maybe even an Ashiok. So we'll Callous Dismissal. Just play to the board here. Get rid of the Ashiok and go full damage. Here's Bloom Hulk. Unless they have a board wipe, this should be game, probably. Down to 5. What do you got, opponent? How are you going to survive 4 creatures and a removal spell at 5 life with an empty board? Vraska's finisher. They're already dead on board. And there's the concession from our opponent. That is another in the money run here. Another very positive record at 5-2 now, heading into round number 8. Here we are for game number 8, where we will unfortunately have to take a mulligan on that one. This is a keep. I feel I should get rid of the really expensive card here. I've got nothing to bring back with Spellkeeper either. Keep the finale, so if this game goes long, we've got a definite win condition. Playing against green-white, theoretically a pretty aggressive color pair, I would assume. Both very creature-heavy colors. Interplanar Beacon to help them splash in any Planeswalker spells they want. New Horizons. Centaur Nurture, so they are really ramping up and they're not under much pressure. I don't have a 5-mana play, so we can lead with the Aven Eternal, so I can actually fly over the Nurturer and have more things to proliferate onto first. Yikes. Domri's really good here. The Nurturer can fight the Eternal and survive. And then the Nurturer gets to kill one of our other creatures when we go to kill Domri. Oh no, if they play another creature, then we can't even kill Domri, and they get to start getting mana out of them. Working their way up to fighting again. Yeah, this is a very, very bad position. As we attack towards Domri, they eat our 3/3 for free, trade into the 2/2. Domri survives, they're getting mana, they're working towards fighting. We're down to just a single 4/4 over here. Yeah, I mean, if I attack, I'm trading 2 creatures into a single 3/2. It's just not worth it. And the Flux Channeler gets to proliferate, make the Domri bigger even faster too. Gonna need that Arlen mana like immediately if we want to stand any chance. The Wanderer's Strike for a removal spell that proliferates too, so Domri's at super high loyalty. Can easily just fight away our 3/3 now. Still have all the loyalty to fight again next turn. Domri's really popping off. Did hit the Arlen mana at least, which is a start.
Leave my territory, or I'll remove you.
Because Arlen into the Dambreaker, potentially pretty great. Adding extra counters to all the wolves that Arlen made, if they don't fight them away here. Our opponent is just straight up 5-color, splashing all the bombs. We see a Forest, a Plains, an Island, a Swamp, and the 5-color Interplanar Beacon, a Centaur Nurturer for 5 colors, Guild Globe for 5 colors.
Oh, there'll be nothing but dust left when
Oh, they punted. They minus the Domri to fight, but once Domri's no longer on the board, the creature does not have enough power to actually win that fight anymore. So that was really, really lucky for us. They're down to 1 card in their hand here. Yeah, after the Domri punt, it's got to be a really good card. That Arlen did stabilize us quite a lot here. Tamio is a really good one. Tamio could just pick up Domri again if they want, but they're out of enough creatures to actually fight particularly well. Especially now that we buffed our wolves.
The moon looks intriguing tonight.
Wanderer's Strike it is then to get rid of the Dam Breaker. But then all I've got left is a Tamio. And we can kill the Tamio. Yeah, we are doing it here.
I question this outcome.
And there's going to be 2 blockers up, so they can't kill Arlen either. Because they only exile one of the 2. Alright, that went really, really well for us. I mean, they flooded out post Domri and accidentally just lost the Domri without even killing a creature, so we got really, really lucky there. And like I was saying, we needed that 6th land to hit the Arlen to really have any chance, and right when I said that, we got it just on time, probably one of the latest possible times to still have a chance there. And we got super lucky, so that carries us to victory, and we are 6-2 heading into the final battle. We've actually made it all the way to the final round of Magic here, whether we win or lose. All right, here we are on the play for the final battle. We're going to need to draw a land badly, preferably an island. If we do, this hand's pretty good. A lot of 3 and 4 mana things to do. Could even start the curve out with Conjured on turn 2 just to go 2, 3, 4. We take the gamble here. If we get like Island Forest as the first 2 draws, this hand is great. Conjured into Eternal into Bloomhulk. But if we're missing lands, it's very, very bad. Just gonna gamble again. I've done enough mulliganing for today. I think I mulliganed like 3 times. I've paid my dues now. I will just draw like a champion. Or not. I mean, one of our losses was just me keeping a hand like this. But that loss, I had a lot more like 6 mana stuff. This one, it's all like 3 and 4. Aye, the double blue card, the worst draw on the deck? That's not good. I guess Finale of Revelation might be a slightly worse draw than Ashiok, but Ashiok's pretty awful too. Oh boy. Okay. Suppose I earned that one. That's okay. We are still up in money for the entirety of War of the Spark. Yeah. All right. 6-3 it will be. Not much to say about that last game of Magic except mulligan and hope for the best. Our opponent had a really good start regardless, so would have been a difficult one, but the keep really didn't work out. No lands there whatsoever. One last look at the deck here. This was a very sweet one. What are some of the biggest things it had going for it? Well, it had some good rares. Finale of Revelation and Nissa certainly won some games for us. We also had some really good, just chunky stuff, like games where we're getting Arlen and Dam Breakers together. Biggest flaws of the deck? I mean, some of the ways that we kept losing were like mana-related things. That's just like mulligan issues and stuff. It's also a little bit top-heavy. Like, we had several opening hands of like 6-drop, 6-drop land, X mana spell like Arcbow. But looking at the curve here, like, it's not as top heavy as you would think based on how we drew, because I think we drew these 5 cards just incredibly often today, especially in opening hands. So yeah, I really don't think the curve's as bad as it was drawing in those games. I think the Ashiok and the Jang here are just maybe not the right cards for this deck. This does feel aggressive enough that it's really just winning off of combat damage and wanting to affect the board. So swap these out for a couple more good creatures or a couple good removal spells, I think would make the deck better too. The Arcbow was just too slow in every single game. It never even came up, so maybe that as well is a bit of a flaw of the deck that we could improve. And the Spark Double, very cute, very fun, but was a little too narrow to ever actually pan out for us. So not too many cards here that I hate or think that we could swap out to make the deck better, but enough that we probably could have carried this to a 7 winner. And I was playing a little sloppy. There were definitely a lot of mistakes here, so perhaps there was a game or two there we could have won there out of the losses. I mean, you really never know with the mulligan games, but that's a possibility there for sure. So 6-3 it will be to wrap up the War of the Spark drafts this time around. But starting tomorrow, we have the launch of the Hobbit Magic set, which I am very excited about. But as for now, that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you could always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. And other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.